This is my second reading for The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian by Sherman Alexie. I will be reading from the chapter Because Russian Guys Are Not Always Geniuses, and I will be beginning on page 211 after the scene with Rowdy and Junior, beginning with the next morning. This is after Mary passes away and after the funeral when his entire family is having a get-together for some context. Here I go. The next morning I went to school. I didn't know what else to do. I didn't want to sit at home all day and talk to a million cousins. I knew my mother would be cooking food for everybody and that my father would be hiding out in his bedroom again. I knew everybody would tell stories about Mary. And the whole time I'd be thinking, yeah, but have you ever heard the story about how I killed my sister when I left the res? And the whole time everybody would be drinking booze and getting drunk and stupid and sad and mean. Yeah, doesn't that make sense? How do we honor the drunken death of a young married couple? Hey, let's get drunk. Okay, listen, I'm not a cruel bastard, okay? I know that people were very sad. I knew that my sister's death made everybody remember all the death in their lives. I know that death is never added to death, it multiplies. But still, I couldn't stay and watch all of those people get drunk. I couldn't do it. If you had given me a room full of sober Indians crying and laughing and telling stories about my sister, then I would have gladly stayed and joined them in the ceremony. But everybody was drunk. Everybody was unhappy. And they were drunk and unhappy in the exact same way. So I fled my house and went to school. I walked through the snow for a few miles until a white BIA worker picked me up and delivered me to the front door. I walked inside into the crowded hallways and all sorts of boys and girls and teachers came up and hugged me and slapped my shoulder and gave me little punches in the belly. They were worried for me. They wanted to help me with my pain. I was important to them. I mattered. Wow. All of these white kids and teachers who were so suspicious of me when I first arrived had learned to care about me. Maybe some of them even loved me. And I'd been so suspicious of them. And now I care about all of them. Now I care about a lot of them. And loved a few of them. Penelope came up to me last. She was weeping. Snot ran down her face and it was still sort of sexy. I'm so sorry about your sister, she said. I didn't know what to say to her. What do you say to people when they ask you how it feels to lose everything? When every planet in your solar system has exploded. I chose to read this section of the book for kind of the similar reasons that I read the first part that I read. And it is to show how differently Arnold / Junior handles his despair and his guilt over the fact that his sister had passed away. He puts a lot of responsibility of her death on himself for choosing to leave the res and her leaving the res right after him. And so the way he deals with that is not by seeking comfort through his family, who's also grieving the loss of a loved one, but instead going to school, which most people wouldn't want to go to school after losing a loved one, but he finds more comfort through his friends and through people who don't grieve in the same way as his family members do. He finds a certain comfort and security in that. And it just goes to show that people can grieve and can be comforted in different ways. It doesn't all look the same.